Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and recently I have hit 700 subscribers. I just want to say thank you guys so much. And in a special celebration for 700 subscribers, I'll be doing a tutorial on how to make your own stop motion Formula 1 race, kind of like my videos. So yeah, the idea is very straightforward, so let's get right into it. But before you even start filming, I recommend doing the first step, which is brainstorm some ideas for your race. For example, let's say I brainstormed that there will be like a crash on lap 1, and then like maybe on lap 2, there will be a restart. Lap 3, there's some passes. Lap 5, there's another pass. Lap 9, there's another pass. And lap 14, there's pit stops, and so on and so on. You get the idea. So that is the first and probably most basic and easiest step of making a stop motion video. It's literally just brainstorming ideas. And personally, when I'm making a race, I kind of already know what I'm gonna do. It's kind of all in my head. But if you don't really remember what to do, I recommend maybe like getting a piece of paper, maybe writing down what will play out in your race, or you could go on like some notes app or whatever on your phone, device, whatever you have, and you could just write down what's gonna happen in the race. So that is pretty much the first step of making a Formula 1 stop motion race, brainstorming. Now let's move on to the second step, which is making the track. Alright, so now we're getting to a little more difficult part of making a stop motion Formula 1 video, and this is constructing the racetrack. Now, I'm living in a room, I'm assuming you are too, and the most easiest way around I found a way to make a good stop motion video is constructing sections of Formula 1 racetracks. So like for example, we're going to use Spa-Francorchamps right here. And let's say I'm going to build like this straight, right? And that takes up most of my room. After I'm done filming that little straight part, I'm going to construct the turn. And I construct it in my room, then I film that. And when I'm done with that, I continue filming this little straight right here, and I construct it in my room. So I don't know if that's good directions, but basically what I do is that I lay out a section of a track, then I film, then I take everything apart, I lay out another section of the track, then I film, take it all apart, and then I lay out another section of the track, I film, and then take it all apart, and I keep going until the scene is over. Now, I know that sounds really repetitive, but that is how I generally make my stop motion Formula 1 videos. And I forgot one crucial thing, and that is, what do I make my tracks out of? How do I make my tracks, and what should I make it out of? I recommend the most paper. It doesn't really matter what paper. You can use construction or just like this normal like weak paper or whatever. But I just mainly use just paper for my tracks. It's really all I use. Because it's easy. It's very simple. You know, you can just lay it all out, and when you're done filming a scene, you can just like collect all the paper and just rebuild another section, you know? It's super easy. And if you're wondering where to get maybe colored paper, you can get it at your local convenience store like Walmart, Target, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Just wherever you live in general, there has to be at least one store that has these colored papers. Alright, so now let's get to the main part, making the racetrack. And usually I use something to help me build the track, like a reference. And I always use Apple Maps. You don't have to use Apple Maps. You can actually use like Google Earth or whatever. But at least something to give you a reference of what the corner looks like. So I'll be recreating Spa-Francorchamps Turn 1 in paper. And if you guys are wondering how do I make walls, I'm actually going to give you a little short section on how to make walls. Alright, so this is like a quick little section I'm going to film how to make walls. So basically all you need is blank pieces of paper and scissors. So that's really all you need. And first thing you need to do is maybe like cut at least like a 1/6 of the paper off. And then you'll just get this little tiny little strip of paper, and all you need to do is literally just fold this little single piece of paper up, and boom, you have a wall. Walls are that simple to make. And I recommend maybe doing this maybe around like, I don't know, 5 times, and then you'll get a crap ton of walls, so you don't have to worry about like continuously going over having to make walls because your track is too big. Alright, so now since you have all your paper ready and hopefully your walls ready, now we can begin building the section of the racetrack. So usually the first thing I lay out is obviously the black paper. So I'm just going to lay out a few pieces that sort of resemble Spa-Francorchamps Turn 1. So let's look at the image right here. So it's hooks a little. So we'll just do this. lay out some pieces. This is a little wide, so maybe let's make it more tighter, like spa. That looks a lot better. And we maybe make it a little bit tighter. And then we can have this little run down into Eau Rouge. Like that. And when we look back at the reference, these two really look the same. And that's mainly what I do first. I lay out the black paper, and then I do the surrounding stuff around the racetrack. Alright, so now since I have laid out the black sections in the main section of the racetrack, now I'm gonna start laying out the surrounding stuff. So I see right here, there's some grass that ends right when the corner starts. So maybe I'm just gonna put it like right here. It's very good. So I'm just gonna lay out some more green paper. Alright, and then I notice right here, there's some green right here for the pit road exit. So we might just lay it down there. I forgot to do the pit road exit. Maybe I should do that real quick. Give me a minute. Alright, so I did a little bit of the pit road exit. Now I notice there's a little bit of grass on this side of the racetrack. So I'm going to lay some sheets of paper down. Now this is a little bit difficult because now you already have like a little bit of the track right here, and you have to lay the paper down under the part, so it's gonna mess it up a little, but don't get angry. It's just, it happens. So then you can just lay out more green paper. I think it stops right until we come to the corner, so let's put that under, and we can just have it end right there. It's going a little bit over the pit road, so let's put that on top. And yeah, it looks really good. Alright, so I now notice there's a little bit of a runoff section right here. So I'm just going to quickly recreate that with black paper. I'm just going to put a little gap between the track and the runoff section, so you could kind of see in the stop motion what is the track and what is the runoff zone. So it sort of ends when it starts turning like that. So maybe something like this. Looks a lot like it. Yeah, it looks really good. And then it just continues going straight for a little bit. And then it has like a little, this stops, and then this keeps going up. And then boom, that's the runoff section complete. And now in my case, I don't need to do any of the sand trap or whatever right here, because my floor is the same color of the sand and looks like sand. But in your case, if your floor isn't brown, you do have to get maybe some paper that does look brown, whitish, you know, that resembles sand. But this is a very good depiction of Spa-Francorchamps Turn 1. And, you know, I think I'm pretty much done with it. I know there's a little bit of, like, empty spots right here, but that's just going to be covered up by walls. So, yeah, and talking about walls, let's just get straight into placing walls. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing, and that is, like, this little, I don't know what these are called, but, you know, like, a little, like, decorations on the track. Forgot about that. So I'm just going to use some orange. Normally, I don't do this in my videos, but just for this video, I'm going to do it. Now, it's kind of tricky to do this with one hand, so I'm just going to quickly put the camera down and do it with two. Alright, so it can be a little bit of a struggle to put these papers under all these other papers when you're not trying to ruin the track. But, you know, there's going to be these ugly gaps, and sometimes you just have to live with it. So it's not going to look the best, but, you know, it gives a good resemblance of Spa-Francorchamps. But anyways, let's move onto the walls now. So I noticed the wall here on the outside starts to curve in right here. So maybe let's probably fix this. Some paper right there. So we're gonna have it curve in. I'm gonna save like the smaller pieces of paper for the hard turn. So we're just gonna lay out the wall like this, curves in. And just like real life, you have that big section of grass on the side. And right here, we have this big section of grass on the outside. So yeah, really, I'm just gonna place down these walls without, you know, off camera, I mean. So I could quickly do it. But you guys you guys have a good idea of what to do. So let me just do this real quick. Alright, so now I have completed all the walls. They are now all laid out. And make sure to leave some gaps in the walls for, like, you know, emergency vehicles and the marshals. So let me get my little safety car. Yes, I know it's Batman, but I just use it as a safety car. But since we're now all done with the walls and placing down the paper, it does look a lot like Spa-Francorchamps Turn 1. Now let's move on to the track decoration. And you see there's some grandstands on the side. So what I do is that I just get a blank piece of paper and I just color little dots on it, and it looks like fans and it looks really good. So let's just place these down right here on the side where the real grandstands are. There are some buildings that I don't know if they're buildings or grandstands, but I think those are the only grandstands in Turn 1. Yeah, I think they are. No, there's a little small grandstand right there, I think. Oh, wait, no, those are all grandstands. What am I talking about? But let me just place these all around. And, yeah. So I place these all around. And now it looks a lot like Spa-Francorchamps Turn 1. So that looks really good. And now we have completed the track layout. Now let's start filming. Alright, so the filming is pretty straightforward. Get a stand to place your device on so you can make, you know, the filming very steady. Let me just place down my camera right here. And find a good spot that is good for filming. Maybe remove some walls right here so, like, you can get a better camera angle. But I know that other half of the track isn't completed. I did that on purpose, you know, just for this video. But normally that other half, I mean, would be completed. But now let's move on to the filming. So you just really need to take your time with the video. You know, so I do get it. You want to get this project done. You want to get it out there as fast as you can. But, you know, you can't just put out some crappy video out there. So you have to really take your time. So I'm not going to move the car too far. Move very slightly to make it look very smooth. And I do recommend turning on this little feature where, like, if it has like a frame over the camera, and it really helps me because I can just place it on top of the car and it helps me follow it. So let me just quickly film this scene and then I'll show the results later. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm sorry if it didn't really make any sense, but I hope it did. I hope it helped you a lot. Just once again, all you need to do is just rearrange the paper and film another section, and then rearrange the paper again, and then film another section of the racetrack to make it look like a really good stop motion. So yeah, I hope this made sense. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you guys need help, if you guys need more help on how to make a Formula 1 stop motion, I can actually make another video just like this. Maybe going through an actual race I'm actually filming. So yeah, but once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this helped, and I hope to check out your stop motions to see how good they are. So yeah, bye.